Hello, underachievers. So I'm just gonna come straight out and say it, but like, there are so many puns. There are so many puns. I'm just gonna come straight out. I'm gonna come out and say it. I don't really know the pride flags. I have never put even a single ounce of effort into learning what any of the pride flags mean, or where they come from, or what identities they correspond to. And to be honest, it's not just pride flags. Like, I'm half Irish, and I can't tell the difference between the Irish flag and the Ivory Coast flag. I know very little, but I thought today it would be fun to rate and or roast some of the pride flags, because let's not lie, there's a lot of ugly ones. There's a lot of ones that make me question the intent of the people that designed it. Like, I know you're saying this is for your identity, but do you hate yourself that much? But let's get on with it. Let's see these pride flags. So I actually made my own tier list for this because I am resourceful, but I'd like to explain the tiers for you. So first up, we have Let Me Join Your Cult, because the pride flag is so good that it makes people that are outside of the LGBT cult want to join it. That's a joke. I'm very, very, very LGBT. I was never a lesbian, but I was gay, and I'm bi and trans, so Let Me Join Your Cult is reserved for the superior flags, and we are just talking about aesthetics, by the way. I should probably have mentioned that before. We're not talking about like, ooh, do I prefer genderqueer people, or do I prefer, you know, gays? That's not what it is. We're purely basing this on aesthetics. And you say, who are you to judge, Noah? You have no qualifications. Exactly. But like, I'm going to do it. So down from Let Me Join Your Cult, we have Very Pretty. Just a very pretty flag. Below that, we have Certainly a Flag. That's just reserved for flags that are just like, yeah, I mean, I guess you're there. Not very impactful, not gaining much from this experience. Below that, we have Did You Have To? This is for the flags that are just like, really, really those colors. And right at the bottom, we have A Crime, Go Straight to Jail. Those are for the flags that I don't like how they look. So let's get on to it. So, first up, we have the Progress Flag, which is this new pride flag here. You know, you may have been thinking, oh, but wasn't the rainbow enough? To which I would say, I don't know, I don't really care. A lot of people have opinions on flags, and until now, I haven't had them. I guess I can kind of understand people being like, well, I mean, the original rainbow flag, that included everybody, so why do we need to add more stripes and colors? And I'd say, like, yeah, it was intended to include everybody, but this little LGBT community we have right here is maybe not as inclusive as we once thought it was. So somebody created the Progress Flag, and you know, some people like it, some people hate it, some people don't care. I'm one of them, but just in terms of this video, there's a lot of colors. I like lots of colors. And it also encapsulates the entire LGBT community, so it's just gonna have to go to Let Me Join Your Cult, because if there was gonna be any flag that was gonna attract the most amount of people, I feel like this one would be that. Next up, we have the Non-Binary Flag, and what does that look like? The yellow stands for people whose gender doesn't exist within the binary. Non-binary. The white represents people with all genders or many genders. Non-binary, I guess. Purple stands for people with genders that may be a mix of female and male. Non-binary. Black represents people that identify as not having any gender at all. Non-binary. You'd think that I would put this in Certainly a Flag. I would say no. I would say Did You Have To? There is nothing aesthetically pleasing to me about this flag. No hate to non-binary people, but like, your flag's really ugly. I'm really sorry about that. I just don't think they go together. I look at the flag and it makes me feel cold, and I can't really explain why. Like, I love purple. I really love purple. I mean, black and white are there. They're cool for the contrast, but the purple and the yellow together, it's just not nice to look at. I'm sorry. Next up, we have the Polysexual Flag, and you know what? I'm not gonna pretend to remember the definition for literally everything. Poly means many, so I assume polysexual is somebody who is attracted to many sexuals. Polysexual meaning. So, polysexual is involving or characterized by different sexualities, sexually or romantically attracted to more than one gender. So yeah, I mean, like, obviously, when it comes to like polysexuality, I'd be technically polysexual because I'm bisexual. I guess some people prefer the word polysexual, they identify with it more than they would pansexual or bisexual. Is that for me to judge? Absolutely not, but we are here to judge the flags, and what do I think about this flag? Now, I'm liking the pink. I like pink. I'm enjoying the green. There's a lot of green going on in my room. I like green. This table is also green. I feel if a picture or a painting or a photo doesn't have green in it, there's something missing. So you get bonus points for green. The blue is also cool. I think this flag makes me think of Play-Doh. And I'm not sure why. I feel like I'm having a positive response to these colors, this flag. It's either Very Pretty or Let Me Join Your Cult. I think I do like it enough for it to make me want to join a cult. It'll stay up there for now. We'll see if we can move it later on. So next up, we have the Aromantic Flag, which is for people who are aromantic, meaning that they experience very little or no sexual romantic attraction at all. Certainly can't relate. I would have crushes on inanimate objects if that was possible. Don't think about the man who has sex with cars.
Morning, baby. My handsome man.
In terms of the flag, I mean, there's green there. So the green, it's not going in the bottom tier because it has green in it. But The shades of green, I'm not feeling so much. I love a really deep green or a really bright green, and this one is really neither of them. And I'm not a big fan of grey either. This flag makes me think of maths, and again, it makes me feel cold, specifically like the non-binary flag. It's not really very eye-catching, and that's difficult when there's green involved. I don't, however, think that it's as bad as a non-binary flag, so I guess I'm just gonna have to put it in certainly a flag, because it's certainly a flag. There's not much to it. Next up, we have the lesbian flag, and look, this is the most aesthetically pleasing flag, I think. It's going straight in "Let me join your cult." Lesbians, do I have permission to be a lesbian? I believe that there was a bunch of controversy surrounding the lesbian flag. I don't remember specifically what it is, you'll have to Google it. I do remember, though, that the old lesbian flag, the person who made it was problematic or did something dodgy. I'm not entirely sure, but we can ignore that, because this flag is so nice looking. All the colors look really nice together, none of them look out of place. If I had these colors and I had to put them in order, I would put them in the order that they're in. And I love orange, and I love purple, and purpley pink, and it's just a nice flag. Next up, we have the asexual flag, which is here. And you know, asexuals experience little to no sexual attraction. Their flag, it's certainly a flag. There's not much to say about it, is there? You definitely get points for there being purple, but I just feel like a flag with black, grey, and white, it just has to be way more exciting than this one is. The grey makes me feel cold, the purple makes me feel warm, so it's not a negative experience with this flag, but it's just there's nothing to it. So what are the meanings? Black represents asexuality, so it could just be a black flag. White represents allosexuality, which is the presence of sexual attraction, so that's the spectrum part of it. Some asexuals experience a little bit of sexual attraction, so that accounts for them, that's cool. Grey represents the grey ace folks in the asexual spectrum. Grey ace, grey ace, grey ace, grey ace. A grey asexual may engage in sex with someone they have a strong connection to, but their relationship is not based on sex, nor do they crave sex. I feel like there's a lot of relationships that aren't based on sex. It's not a very good relationship if it's just based on sex. This can also be known as grey areas, which can be combined with different orientations, such as a grey sexual heteroromantic person rarely sexually attracted to others. Okay, so it's just like the grey area, that makes sense. And the purple represents community, because the AVEN, the Asexual Visibility and Education Network website, had a purple color scheme. Cool. I mean, it's a good flag. I mean, the colors, they make sense. I can't put it in very pretty, though. It can't go higher than certainly a flag, because it's not very pretty. Next up, we have the gender fluid flag, and I'm sorry to the gender fluids out there, but what is that? What is that? That's an abomination. I genuinely, why? Whose idea was it? Like, none of the colors go together. That pink with that purple, absolutely not. That purple with that blue could work, but the pink ruins it. I really don't like it, and for some reason, the fact that the black stripe is not either in the middle or on the outside really upsets me. It just feels like it's so off balance. Let's look it up. Do they have a reason? Can they explain? Can they make excuses for why it's like that? So we got pink for femininity, which, okay, fine. We got blue for masculinity, again. Are we doing this? Are we doing these stereotypes within the LGBT community? I'm joking. Purple for femininity and masculinity. Okay, so pink and blue together makes purple. I guess that makes sense. Black for lack of gender. White for all genders. Okay, it makes sense. I guess. I still don't like it. I really, you're going straight to jail. Gender fluid people, hands up, please. Thank you. Next up, we have the agender flag, and you know, we're seeing some green, so it's not going at the bottom. It's making me feel cold, but not in a negative way. I'm not sure why. It reminds me of dinosaurs, and I like dinosaurs. It looks like a green sandwich, and I appreciate green, and I like sandwiches, so there's positive, but I just can't put it in very pretty. This is very difficult. There's none that are just very pretty. We may have to reshuffle, but I'm sorry, agenders, you're going in certainly a flag. I mean, I used to be one of you. I used to think I was agender. Maybe it was the flag that put me off. Who knows? Next, we have the bisexual flag, and yep, absolutely, I forget what pride flag colors there are, but the bisexual flag, 10 out of 10. The colors just go beautifully together. They just go so well. It's like a delicious snack. I want to eat it. I want to put it in Let Me Join Your Cult for obvious reasons. It's tough between the lesbian flag and the bisexual flag, which I prefer. The bisexual flag feels cool to me. Like, these are relaxing, like, cool colors. If these colors were people, they'd be like, yeah, you know, I'm bisexual. Yeah, you know how it is. Yeah, I find all different kinds of people attractive, you know, that's how it goes. It's just smooth. It's just cool. It's just relaxed. It's confident. I think I may have to move polysexual down into very pretty because, you know, it doesn't make me want to be polysexual. I'm already attracted to different genders. I admit the polysexual flag looks tasty, but, you you know, it's not making me want to join a cult. Maybe I should just keep it in very pretty. Next, we have the Demisexual Flag, and again, what is it with the greys and the whites and the blacks and the purples? Why are there so many flags with these colors? First, we should maybe explain what demisexual is to people that don't understand. So demisexuals only experience sexual attraction after an emotional connection has been made. So, you know, I'm not demisexual. I will see a good-looking man and go straight to, oh my god, literally, I would. Let's do it. Whereas demisexuals, they would see somebody that's attractive, but they wouldn't be sexually attracted to them until they formed an emotional connection. And this is not to be mistaken with having standards, which I've seen a lot of people talking about. They're like, oh, you're not demisexual, you just have standards. The thing with demisexuals is that they are physically incapable of being sexually attracted to somebody before they have an emotional connection. It's not the same as like saving yourself for somebody until there's more of a bond there. It's like it's an attraction thing. I will just have to Google what this flag means because it's the only one that I've got so far where there's like a triangle, and like why? Demisexual flag meaning. Black represents asexuality, grey represents demisexuality, white represents sexuality, purple represents community. Okay, that's cool. It's just a flag. It's maybe a little bit more exciting than the asexual flag, but it still just has to be certainly a flag. It's not very pretty. I'm sorry, I don't think anybody would see any of these grey flags and be like, oh, that's really pretty. I love that. I feel represented. Next, we have genderqueer. What does the genderqueer flag look like? It looks like this. This is what the genderqueer flag looks like. Again, green. I'm listening. Do love a bit of purple, and I like that the purple is pastel purple. It's more gentle. It's not as in your face. I kind of like it. I do kind of wish the green was a bit nicer. It's not a nice green. I can't figure out if it's certainly a flag or very pretty. And I feel like if I'm in the middle, that means it's not very pretty. If it was very pretty, I'd know straight away. It's not very pretty. It's very close. Can I put it halfway? I can't. You know what? It's almost pretty. We're gonna give it that. It's easy on the eyes, and in comparison to a lot of these flags that we're looking at, it's very pretty. Next we have the Union Jack. This is for British people, of which I am one. So I am entirely qualified to say this is a crime. Go straight to jail. I can only apologize so much for being British. Next up, we have the Intersex Flag. I like this flag. If you ask me what the Intersex Flag looked like before this video, I don't know if I would be able to describe it to you. I'd maybe remember the colors, but whenever I'm at Pride and I see the Intersex Flag, I'm like, oh, absolutely, that is the Intersex Flag. And I don't know how it makes sense, but it does. I think it's cool. I think it looks different from the other flags, you know, they're not trying really hard to fit in, like these asexuals and these demisexuals with all their colors. Here's the thing, I wouldn't say it was pretty, so I'm gonna say let me join your cult, because this is a cool flag. And you know what, I do like yellow in some circumstances, and this is a good one. I like how it shouldn't work, but it does. What does the Intersex Flag mean, though? The flag that I'm showing you is the most commonly used one, and it was designed by Morgan Carpenter of Intersex Human Rights Australia. And they chose the colours yellow and purple because none of these colours represent the traditional constructs of binary identities. Exactly, it's not like pink for girl, blue for boy. And I also like this. I think this is cool. This makes it even cooler. Like, the other ones, I'm like, oh, black is a lack of gender. Yeah, boring. You could do something else with it. Whereas this one says, the circle in the Intersex Flag is also described by Morgan as unbroken and unornamented, symbolizing wholeness and completeness and our potentialities, which I love. We are still fighting for bodily autonomy and genital integrity, and this symbolizes the right to be who and how we want to be. I love that. If you don't know that much about intersex stuff, you should really look into it, because there's a bunch of f***ed up stuff that happens to intersex people. You know, when they're born, their doctors are just like, oh, so, we're not really sure what's going on in terms of the genitalia. So you parents, let's do surgery. Not you do parents. Not the parents doing surgery. The parents don't do the surgery, but for a very long time, doctors have kind of just done non-consensual surgery on intersex children to try and correct them, which is why I like the circle thing and how it's about wholeness, because like intersex people are whole. There's nothing wrong with them. I like that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's absolutely staying in Let Me Join Your Cult. So the pansexual flag, I go back and forth on this. I'm either like, yes, I love it, it's the best, it's so obnoxious, but sometimes when I'm tired, I'm like, look, calm down, you can chill out a bit. Right now, I'm just gonna say that the pansexual flag is very pretty. The pink is so bold, the yellow is so bold, the blue is so bold, and they're all kind of equally as bold as each other. They don't look out of place together. It doesn't want to make me join the cult. It doesn't, but it is very pretty. And I feel like it also stands out from the other flags, like it's very recognizable. Next up, we have the super straight flags for transphobic losers who don't think that trans people are sexy. Of course, a crime is going straight to jail. And it is also the exact same colors as a certain adult website, which if the flag wasn't just a big front for transphobia, that would give it bonus points. I would like that. It's also got the same colors as Grindr, which is kind of funny considering Grindr is like a gay app, and these straights are like, no, I'm really straight. They chose the gay colors. And finally, we gotta end on the trans flag. Absolutely, you know what's going on. I've already joined the cult. I'm already here, as I'm sure some of you are. I think, you know, like, growing up, being trans, I didn't want to accept that I was trans, and I was embarrassed about being trans. I wanted nothing to do with the trans flag. But that was silly. It's just very aesthetically pleasing. I think this is a contender with the lesbian flag. It's symmetrical. I love symmetry. The pink and the blue go beautifully together, and I just love it. I really, it's a very nice flag. So, what do you think about my tier list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you upset that I said something mean about your flag? I'm sorry, but it's ugly. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day, or don't. See you later, losers. Goodbye.